like, we're finishing up dinner, and she goes, "Top Chef, help me, Top Chef."
Hey, Top Chef.
And I turn around, and there's like 6-foot flames coming out of the top of this grill. And I was like, holy shit. And I jump up, I grab my tongs, and I'm just start like pulling everything I can, trying to save their food, grab the kind of like balled the foil up, and I threw it onto the pavement and like stomped it out. But saved the day. But man, that shit was so funny.
Hello and welcome to Whipped Cream Salmon. I'm your boy Brian Bastanza, joined as always with my host Ronnie Sanchez. It's episode 30, Ronnie.
30.
And we're excited about that. 30. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I know it. I realized today that it was episode 30. I'm like, damn, we're creeping up on 1 year of doing this.
Yeah, once a week, 52 weeks in a year. We're past the halfway mark. And I did note that when we got to 26, I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of half, way to a year. So that's pretty cool to have been doing. Yeah, I don't think we've missed a week.
No.
It's been really great. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, my house, you live in a townhouse as well, so
yep.
Tell me if this is your experience. It's currently snowing outside.
Same.
Getting a light dusting. Downstairs is so goddamn cold, and that's where the thermostat is. So it triggers the thermostat to run the heat all the time. So upstairs it's really hot, and downstairs it is frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've closed all the vents up here, and so that's why I was asking if you could hear this vent, because I can hear it like whistling, because it's just like, I'm trying to close off the vents up here to get more airflow downstairs, but it's really not working.
I get very similar situation to what you have. I have our thermostat is upstairs, but the thing about our townhouse is that like there's a vaulted ceiling in the living room, so there's like no ceiling up to where the thermostat is. So all the heat just goes up into the upstairs has like the 2 bedrooms and a little tiny hallway. And all the heat just concentrates up there. So I've done the same thing at times and like closed off this vent and heard it whistling, and yeah, sometimes I suffer through it. Sometimes I'm like, yeah.
I know. And in the summertime, we just like roast. It's like the opposite.
Yeah.
So like never comfortable.
This room in the winter is 85 degrees. In the it gets direct sun in the afternoon, 3:00 ish, and then it's like roasting up here. Even the way it is. So yeah. But we probably have an interesting pod for y'all this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, not great news in my camp. My dog isn't doing well. Probably gonna have to make a tough decision towards the end of the week, if not sooner than that. Basically, got a tough diagnosis. I mean, she wasn't doing well. She was trying to go out all the time. She, yeah. I mean, I'll spare some of the gory details, but brought her in. They recommended that we'd go to the emergency room, and we decided not to do that. I don't know. I think like I kind of had that thought. I like knew going in when we got to this point that I wasn't going to want to go down that road. I mean, she's 12. I feel like I started like formulating my opinion probably when she was, it's part of the way that I am about it, I think, is just like, I don't know that we want to kick this thing down the road for a long time and spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
You hear of people like sometimes you can easily like spend like for us, which would be like our entire savings, right? Like trying to like save this dog that result might be exactly the same.
Yeah.
and that's really sad. And I actually like, I mean, you don't voice all the thoughts that you have at all times. And I think in some ways, like, you know, I didn't say that ahead of time before we got to this point out loud. I don't think I ever said that to Sam. It could, you know, if we had no, if money was no object, we would have just done that, and we would have, you know, spent however much money, and then it may or may not have worked, but at least like we did all the things. I don't think that we were. I wasn't willing to do that. I think Sam somewhat feels guilty about that. You just, I mean, y'all just had a dog pass. Did you?
Yeah.
Was it? Because you could also bring your dog in, and it can be like, okay, well, this is certainly terminal. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that like kind of can make that decision easier for us. For us, it was like you could take her in, and they're going to run more tests, and they're, you know, like, and you might just find out that's like the same ending for, you know, $3,500, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah. It is
it's
like,
tough.
I mean, I don't know. The We did have to put a dog down. I don't know how long ago it's been now. A little over a year, maybe almost 2 years now. Um, yeah, dude, it's not an easy decision, obviously. And then when you are in your position, you're making that decision. You have to question, like, am I? Are we making, like? I mean, obviously, money is an issue, but even if it wasn't, you're asking, am I making this decision? Is the dog benefiting at this point? Like,
Yeah,
or are we just like stretching this thing out? You know, almost selfishly, like, you know, like
yeah,
what is the quality of life that
sure,
the dog is, you know, gonna live with at that point. um yeah, man, it's awful. And you know, my dog Stevie, she's about the same age as your dog Emma,
yeah,
you know, so you know, it sucks, dude. It's not something that you like to think about, but you know, it's as they get older, man, it's always kind of like in the back of your head, you know.
yeah, yeah, totally. And I guess like I felt, um, I mean, I guess I feel the same way about humans at times, right? I think like people, can be, you know, like they're clearly like on the downhill, and then the people
Yeah.
around them are, you know, keeping them alive. They're doing what they think is best, and you know, and of course, like I'm not like gonna argue with you what's best for your situation, you know, but you hate to see someone who's like suffering. I mean, that's what it's about, right? Like
Yeah.
if your dog, if your cat, if your person is suffering, I think that, you know, that's when the hard decision kind of has to be made. Um, we had a really cool kind of day. I mean, yesterday was rough. Saturday, Sunday was rough. She
Mm-hmm.
like couldn't really move, and she was like shaking and like wasn't eating at all.
Yeah.
Which is like, whew, that's tough, right? Obviously, if you're not eating, like, how far will you make it? Um, Today I got her to eat a lot, and I think she's feeling quite better. I mean, she got some antibiotics, so we kind of like, she has like pancreatitis. That's what they know about at our like regular vet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they said like they wanted, or they recommended going to the ER to find out if, and like, if the pancreatitis was a symptom of something else worse, right? And so we didn't do that, and then so we're kind of like treating the pancreatitis as a standalone, kind of just like as like a last ditch resort, but also like trying to get her to feel good. And like she wasn't eating, so we like, and she was like, you know, double ejecting and shit, and like to, you know, get her, she's on some like nausea medication, so then she was like able to eat.
Mm-hmm.
um and then yeah, and today like wasn't awful. I actually like find myself like, I don't know, I guess I'm really in some ways just enjoying taking care of her, you know. um
Yeah.
you said earlier it's snowing. That was
Yeah.
pretty special to just take her
She
out.
hyped.
It was the longest walk we had been on in a couple days. So
Yeah, it's good. I mean, shoot.
yeah.
Yeah, it sucks that dogs get
Do you
old.
want to crack a beer?
Yeah, let's
You
crack
have
a
a beer?
beer, dude.
Sorry.
Yeah, I do.
I got a Noble Session mead with
a
black
mead.
currant.
Okay.
Check this sucker out.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. What you drinking?
I got the old Narragansett.
All right, dude.
Took this one out of the
New England shit, huh?
Yeah. Took this one out of the work cooler too. I'm just bringing them home, roadies.
Nice. Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I cooked some food this week, or before kind of all this happened. We had some pretty bomb chili verde the other
Fuck
day.
yeah, that's one of my favorite.
Chicken. We did chicken. I had a whole bird again and butchered it. All the meat went into the chili verde. That was really good. Had some frijoles and some lime rice to serve that with.
Bomb.
Super bomb. Yeah,
Love
really good.
that.
I honestly don't know how often I've had it. I just just always liked it though.
It's such a good dish. It's just it's so comforting and I don't know, really bright flavors and yeah, that's one of my favorites. I love even as a last ditch, last second thing, throw in some pork butt or chicken is great too, and just a jar of salsa verde in the Instapot and let it go to town.
For
30
sure.
minutes later, yeah, that's
for sure.
Great dish.
We used to have salsa verde at Azul, and we didn't have a dish like that on the menu though. But for my own personal burritos, that was definitely a thing that I was fucking with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the lime rice was pretty good. Yeah, just a good dish. Oh, what else was I gonna say? Oh, I think I had some acid reflux from it though. It's really
Acidic.
bright dish, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll happen.
I had some
We're getting old
rice
too.
wine vinegar. There was some lime in there. Yeah, it was definitely. And the tomatillos are just sour, right? I don't know if that's all. It just feels like an acid reflux type of situation. That dish.
Have you tried that that yuzu hot sauce that we put in your Christmas gift basket?
Yeah, I really like it.
I put that on a spoon. That gave me instant heartburn. It's I mean, if you don't know, yuzu is it's in a citrus family. But yeah, that hot sauce is just super acidic. It is tasty. It was way spicier than I expected it to be. So it was one of those things put some on a spoon, threw it down. It was immediately hiccuped and then heartburn right after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it lit me up pretty good. Yeah, last night I set the wok up on the patio. It was 18 degrees or something. I was made some pad kapow. I really contemplated just doing it in a frying pan on the stove inside, but I was it's not going to be as good, and B, it's just going to make a mess if I do it the way I want to do it
it's
inside.
It's going to splatter everywhere, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I was
totally.
So I just sucked it up. And if you don't know pad kapow, it's just a really quick and easy Thai dish. It's just rice, usually a ground, sometimes chopped, but I prefer it a ground pork, or you can do ground chicken or beef or whatever you want. And then it's just fish sauce and sugar, and I think oyster sauce is typically in there. Some chilies and some Thai basil or holy basil, probably more. We've had that talk, but I did Thai basil, and then a fried egg on top.
Yeah, you do it
so
like the Thais do it, the ultra brown fried sunny egg kind of. That's what you call it?
Yeah, I didn't do it in the wok, the wok fried egg, but I did it in the egg pan. When I came back inside to do it was so cold outside. I wanted to get in as soon as possible. But yeah, just cooked it up in the wok, and then came inside and fried it up in the egg pan with like a pretty good amount of oil in there. Get nice crispy edges. Just like basted the top just so like it just the top of the egg, like it just gets that like white, thin light film, I guess, over the top of the egg, and it was so good, so good. I love that. Actually,
Nice.
Rochelle had bought was in my stocking. There was like a couple different packets of like sauce packets that she got at Whole Foods, and one was a pad krapao. The other one was like it was like a lemongrass, like Korean barbecue, that we cooked up something else. But yeah, so I just had the packet. It was solid.
Nice. Oh yeah.
I think the brand was like Omsum. I think.
Omsum?
I think so.
I just whipped up some sausage and peppers. That was pretty good. I had a pack of hot sausage, and just do like red sauce, and I mean it's kind of like a throw together. Put carrots in there. That's pretty weird. But
okay,
onions, garlic, carrots because I had them, the peppers, and then had some. I had a pint of red sauce that I pulled out of the freezer. Yeah, a little rigatoni. Rigatoni, underrated. Is it a noodle? I don't know if it's a noodle. Pasta.
It's a pasta.
Again, we don't know what a noodle is. We call each other noodle boys, but we still don't know.
No idea what noodles are.
Rigatoni's awesome.
Yeah,
it's big, has like a big bite to it. Fills up with sauce good. If there are things that can slide into it, ooh,
yeah,
that's a good time. A couple of those onions slid right in there, dude. It was like, ooh, I don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, they're great with like, especially like a chunky sauce or something. Yeah, you can like get bites where they're like kind of like filled up. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, baked ziti is a banger of a dish.
It's such a banger.
Yeah, I was on a kick. Maybe it was like a year ago or something. I had made it, hadn't made it in a very long time, and then I think I made it like 2 or 3 more times, like within that month. I'm just like, gotta have more of that.
Yeah, it's dirty. It's like,
oh yeah,
I feel like I would eat it more if I was 22.
Yeah,
I would crush way more of it. Now I'm like hesitant to do it. This is just an old man pod now.
Yeah.
Like, you can't eat baked ziti anymore, and we got acid reflux. So thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, last weekend? Rochelle made some meatball subs. And after we did our sandwich draft, and I said that a meatball sub was one of my favorites, we had some meatball subs.
I do get ideas from the pod. That's what got me on the Chile Verde, because we were talking about it. What were we talking about it for? It came up when I was listening back and I was editing, and I was like, oh, I think let's do that. So that's good.
Yeah, I think in the last episode, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, but I always want to have fresh ideas coming in.
I know, and when I don't cook anything, and then I get on the pod, I feel like I failed the listeners. Like when I'm like, here's the moment that I'm supposed to tell everybody what we cooked this week, and I have nothing.
Sometimes you just like don't, I mean, like sometimes, life happens and you have things going on multiple nights of the week, and the one night you had to cook, maybe you just didn't, like, which happens to me all the time, right? I mean,
up some leftovers or something.
Right.
Yeah. We also threw together some chili really quick. Was that last night? 2 nights ago? Yeah. Good chili weather.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, and this snow is it's actual snow this time. There was a big scare of snow, and they closed the schools for multiple days. It was 0 inches. This is approaching an inch, y'all.
You should have seen. We definitely don't have that much here. When we got snow, like 2 weeks ago, we had like I don't know, a good 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, I'd say. But you should have seen the amount of salt that they threw down in the work parking lot today.
Mm-hmm.
my coworker Dylan, he's from Colorado, or at least lived in Colorado for a long time, so he thinks it's just as funny as we do.
Yeah.
Walked out of there. It was like, it looked like there was so much salt in the parking lot. It looked like it had been snowing. Like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, dude. It's like there was a possibility of maybe some snow in the forecast, and you guys threw down a whole salt mine's worth of salt in this parking lot.
Salt mines. Second shout out in 2 weeks, dude.
I know.
Shout out to the salt mine
Get
workers.
the rabbi out there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, who blessed all that?
Yeah, we're keeping Morton's in business.
Mm-hmm.
So funny.
How are things going at work?
Good, man. It's just the holidays are well, I mean, we're past the holidays now, but holidays and then going to New Year's, and after the New Year, everybody's on a diet, and then like, I don't know, we've had a little bit of weather in North Carolina, so apparently people just like don't go outside when there's like even a chance of snow.
I didn't think of New Year's as a downturn for restaurants, but that could certainly be the case. Just like it is a crazy uptick for like gym subscriptions, it's probably a downturn for restaurants, right? For a brief period of time.
Yeah, no, it definitely, because everyone's on a diet or whatever, but also in our situation, like the cafe, it's in like a tech business park. So there's not like anything else. It's on a campus basically. So there's not anything else really around there. And so we have very little foot traffic of people that are just like going out to lunch that stop in there. Almost all of the orders are almost exclusively like one item tickets. It's like very rarely do you have multiple items on a ticket.
Right.
So that definitely plays a big part in it. I don't know, how tech companies go. They don't work on the weekends or the holidays or past certain times, or and apparently any chance you get to work from home, they definitely do. Yeah. So there's even
when it snows.
Yeah, even as the slightest risk of weather,
right?
You're not going into work. Have you been going into work recently?
I normally would be. I mean, this week with the pups and everything, I've been home.
Yeah.
But no, I typically like nothing really changes for me. I'm always like, or typically 2 days at home, 3 days in the office, which is pretty good.
Gotcha.
It is good. Actually, it's like, it's better than you'd think right now, because it seems like those like the hybrid is kind of going away for a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, some of the major tech companies have like put everyone back in the office. Amazon has like put everyone back in the office.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, I think like the chances, like it's I don't know. I think when it was COVID and I was looking for a job, I think that was like, obviously like everyone was kind of doing that for a little bit. And then, yeah, I think now there must be data backing that stuff. I mean, like if there's something that these companies are good at, they're good at collecting and analyzing data. And I'm sure that there's like a lot of data that suggests like it's better for us when we have people in the office all the time. Now, I don't always think that like my in office is my most productive. Like a lot of times, like Chatty Cathy walks by, we're talking about whatever for a half hour. I'm like trying to leave this conversation, but you keep dragging me back into it. But I mean, these are the perks of going into the office, and I think that like I carry that from kitchen life, right? I like, if you were like kind of wasting my time, I was like kind of like TikTok, like let's roll, like not like if we're standing next to each other and we're prepping and we're having a conversation. That happens all the time, and that's what's great about the restaurant is you can like do hard work and like be social at the same time. But I think it's kind of two separate things. Like you just like don't have time for someone to like stop you to like chat about a thing, which happens, right? Like, I mean, someone comes in, like one of your friends comes in and you're like excited to like chat with them, but like in the back of your head, you're just like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Like I can't like leave the line for this long. Like chances are it's slow and maybe you can, but like I think like internally you kind of are like, oh, I owe it to everyone to like get back as quickly as I can, especially like if you're in any sort of leadership in the kitchen. I mean, I think any sort of leadership anywhere, but like leadership in the kitchen, like it's really easy to um, put off the perception that you're not working hard
Yeah.
if you are taking time to do that stuff. Now, like a lot of times, the people that are doing these things are working way more hours than the other people are, right? Like we've kind of touched on, like the line cook will complain about the chef that's in the office. Well, the chef has a lot of office work to do, and he got here earlier and is going to leave later. That's not always the case. That's certainly not always the case. Sometimes they're just fucking bullshitting in the office, or certain ones
Yeah.
are, right? Certain like there's a big spectrum of kitchen leadership and how they behave relative to the office. And I think the best ones will like make a real effort to be seen often
Yeah.
and integrated into the day to day. Now, I mean, I think I do understand that when you get to a certain level and you're like a real executive chef of a hotel, for example, right? Like you probably aren't doing anything line related. You know, like you may not even be like doing anything like coming up with menu items. Like when you get to a certain level, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably not even touching a knife for
right. You're having
99% of
right. You're having
the work.
conversations with purveyors. You are doing invoicing and ordering and GL coding and a million other things that go along. You know, managing labor.
Yeah.
Million other things that go along with especially a staff of that size, right? And we're talking about like maybe a hotel that has like 5 restaurants in it, and the staff to work all those restaurants is like 200 people, let's say. You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
um it's different.
I know whenever I've been in a chef role and it's like it's starting to ramp up again now, where like we're bringing in some new cooks that are going to kind of like maybe fill in our shoes when we leave our current spot and go to the new place, or there's a lot of moving parts. So now I'm like answering a lot more emails, and I'm like placing orders, and I'm like standing in the back hallway. We have a whiteboard, and I'm like writing shit on the whiteboard, like different catering events coming up. I do often like I get self-conscious about like what are my cooks thinking I'm up to, and I do like I feel the need to like constantly show face and check in and be like, you guys good? How's everything going? Which I think is a good quality to have, but I'm still I've spent obviously way more years not being in that role. So anytime I'm away from the line now, I'm like, or like, a lot of your ordering now is done on your phone and, emailing, like you said, purveyors and stuff. So maybe to the outsider, you might just look like you're standing there on your phone. So I can't
Sure.
make like a conscious effort of being like, you guys need anything while I'm ordering, so just so everyone's aware that you're busy doing your job. But because
It's
it is easy
important.
to look disengaged.
It's important to so like you could be the hardest working chef, or like let's say like sous chef, and you're just like crushing like a ton of office work, right? And you're like, and it, but you never show your face. Like you have to what's the word, like kind of like sell, like you have to put an effort to sell yourself to the staff. I mean, like,
Yeah,
and to like be a leader to the staff. It's so crucial to like, because you can easily get into the like, you get labeled as the office chef,
yeah,
and
clipboard
then
chef. You
and
have to make
then
yourself seen.
right. And you then you hear murmurs of this, right? And then you're like, you get pissed because you're like, I fucking hear all the time, and I'm fucking, like, what are they saying about me, and like all that, like,
Yeah.
and just fucking show your face all the time. Like it's part of it. To be like, it may not be part of it in every industry, but for this one, where like general, I don't know if it's specific to this one, but like, it's super blue collar. A lot of like the entry level employees or even like mid level employees are, um, it's like a blue collar, like, you don't need to be educated to do it. Like a lot of people can get started in this industry,
Hmm.
and to a staff of those people who are working hard to grind stuff and getting paid not that much, it's really easy for them to get unhappy with people that are like adjacent to them, that are making more money than them, that are perceived to be working less hard than them.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And it's kind of funny because at the new food hall that we're opening, like on the blueprints, it shows this like little like wall cutout, and then on the blueprints it just says manager desk, like in this little spot. And so I've been like joking about my office, but really it's just it just is like, I mean, it could very well just be a spot that you like put the broom, it's just like it's such a like a small little like notch in the wall. And it's like,
It doesn't have a door. It's not an
no, there's
office.
no door, and it's just behind the dish pit. It's just
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, it is. But yeah, I was just joking around about like, it's like, no, where's my office? But it's just this fucking little, like, I don't even know what you would say it. Like, if you put nothing in that spot, no one would think twice. They're
Yeah.
like, that's a wall. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome. So
Been talking about decorating it.
that's awesome. So you're hiring right now? Like what's that been like? I mean, are a ton of people interested in your area? Is it a good job? I mean, as far as like competitive wages and just a good working experience, it sounds like you've had a pretty pleasant experience.
Yeah, definitely competitive wages, and the real kicker is, Monday through Friday. It's, like, I don't know, most days I'm there like, well, since my role has expanded, I'm there a bit later now than I used to be, but I usually go in like 6:30 till, I don't know, a good day you're out of there by like 3:30.
Oh, that's pretty
Um,
chill.
it could be later, but as far as like kitchen jobs go, that's a pretty legit schedule. Um, and then when you don't need quite as much prep, you can come in a little bit later. Like tomorrow, I won't go until 7. Um, but yeah, we're starting to bring people in. There's a lot of different properties, so some of the people that we're bringing in are going to go to other properties that are not the food hall that's opening. But we are like, I don't know what I say. April 1st was going to be the expected opening date, so like, we're coming up on that pretty quick, and we're gonna have to be in there. I'd like to be in there like a full month before we open the doors. There's just so much that needs to be done, like purchasing and hiring and training and like stocking everything, and
Totally.
just kind of like walking through each station and just kind of figuring out what the flow of things is going to be like. So um, we're not hiring for that position or for that location yet, but very soon. It's going to be,
Yeah.
yeah, things are about to get real crazy
Nice.
in my
That's
neck of
awesome.
the woods. Yeah, it's exciting. It's all exciting stuff.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah. Hiring is an art. I mean, it really is. I've been lucky enough to be mentored by someone who's really good at it, and
mm-hmm.
also I just had a lot of experience doing it and going through the motions. I probably, collectively between me and then, we would share. So like we would interview a lot of people together a lot of times. Sometimes it would be like when I was managing, it would be like me and like maybe someone supervising would be also be involved. depending on the position that they were going in, like like if you're hiring for someone who you think is going to be a supervisor and could grow into like an actual like kitchen manager, then like might get someone even higher up involved. Sometimes two like there's I've probably done, I don't know how many people I've hired. I've certainly conducted, I don't know, 40 interviews. I don't know, something like that. Does that sound, maybe more? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, it's hard at times.
What's your like your tell signs? Like when you're in a kitchen, maybe you're having somebody stage, or I don't know. They're just, yeah. Or say you have them like stage. Like what is your like tell sign that they're going to be a good fit, or like what is like the first thing that you're looking for?
I mean, I guess like asking the right, like this person's already been hired, right? Like presumably, or they're staging. I mean, we didn't really do that much at our spot, but I don't know, asking the right questions, um, like knowing what everything should be called. Like that sounds pretty basic, but like
Yeah.
like if you know what a china cap is, and you know what like a six pan is, and you like can speak the language, and you know what a small dice is, like somewhat accurately, or not like accurately, but like when I say small dice, like what does that mean? You know what I mean? Or like how we
Yeah.
do it, like, and because that can range a little bit. I think, yeah, just like if they could like automatically just set up a station, like I think that that's like something as a cook that you just do. You're just like, if I need a station, like, okay, you're gonna prep, like, then like to like get a sandy bucket and get a cutting board and get whatever you're gonna need, and have it like set up for you properly, where so you don't have to move around and you can reduce movements, and just like, I think like within a few prep projects you kind of figure out like, oh, if this person can, I mean, they are two different things, and I would argue that being a prep cook is a different skill set than being a line cook.
Yeah.
For a prep cook, like if you can set up your station and you can efficiently, like you've like thought through the project, you're like, oh, if I have to dice like this many, like a case of peppers, well, like I've gone through them, I've stickered them, I've washed them, I have cored them all, and now I'm going to dice them all. I'm not like taking one sticker off, like rinsing it, then dicing
Yeah.
one pepper at a time. You know what I mean? Like that's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of basic stuff, but like I think that that can show a lot for sure. Line cooking, I don't know. Do you communicate well? I think, I know that there's some like the ultra high endest kitchens, they like line cooks don't like, they're not expected to talk, and they shouldn't talk, right? I Not in any kitchen I've ever worked at. When I was a line cook, I was chatting for sure, talking
Yeah.
about tickets, talking about ticket times, how long on that thing. Different roles are different.
I've been in both situations where, like at Lulu's, it was an open dining room,
Uh huh.
open kitchen. So like, yeah, you were expected to be quiet like while you were cooking and stuff, and like, I mean, we were communicating, but you're not. It's not like some kitchens where you're like yelling back and forth, like I don't know, just calling out orders or like shouting and like how long on this, like you're still asking those questions, but you're pretty hush hush and like, and also like learning to work really quietly. Like we weren't to like be like banging pans or like slamming fryer baskets, like I know like a
Sure.
lot of kitchens, like you pull up the French fries and you fucking like slam them to like, kind of break them apart because they'll stick a little bit to each other, but also to like shake off the oil, or like then you like hang up the fryer basket and then you can like lift the handle and like let it drop and it kind of like shakes the basket and drop off oil. Like, no, that shit
Sure.
wasn't tolerated there. Um, so I have been in both. I think definitely working in the like silent environment, I think it definitely made me a better cook, because it just made me more conscious of like all my movements and stuff.
Cool.
But on the hiring front, this is kind of funny because so the spot I'm at now, it's a coffee shop, we have good food, but it's a coffee shop. It's a cafe. And like I've mentioned, like the owners, they're like new into the food side of things. So not everyone that they have brought in previously has had like a lot of food experience. I'm going to go out and say they got real fucking lucky when they found me and Dylan, because we've steered the ship in the right direction.
Sure.
But yeah, no, so they had some questionable characters coming in and out. We had one guy that he didn't pan out, but then this new kid, Hector, he's a Sicilian. He's from Sicily. He came in and he was there for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Just kind of like walked apart, talked apart. I look at his arms. He's got fucking burns all up and down his arms. I was like, so I turned to the owner. I was like, this kid's a line cook. Just fucking hire him. Like it's like he's definitely what we're looking for. And during his stage, the health inspector showed up, and first thing he does, chef, is there anything that you need me to do? I was like, take a look around. If you see anything out of health code, just fucking button it up. And sure as shit, just going around checking labels on everything, making sure dirty towels or whatever, there's nothing out of place. So we hired him, and then we actually just hired his brother. So
nice.
Yeah.
Solid cooks. Little tandem. That's awesome.
Yeah. Real solid cooks.
The one thing we used to do when the health inspector came in, is just bring all the things over to the dish pit.
Yeah.
It's like because when you put the thing in the dish pit, it is like not your health code responsibility at all. So like anything that, if it's like out of place, like just bring it over there. Or like, hey, like I had a sheet pan that I roasted some stuff on, and then it was cooling, and then I like corded it up or whatever. I'll like get that sheet pan over the dish pit. Like everything it's not really questionable, but like it is like just they can't tag you for something that once it's marked for cleaning, right?
People get really frantic when the health inspector walks in, and to a certain extent, like you kind of should. But our owner, he was like running around, and he just like we had already like tidied up, and he's coming by, and like he's just taking clean towels off my station, and he's like I'm like, dude, I'm still cooking. You can't just take my towels. Like, we're allowed to have towels out here. He's like, oh, okay, sorry. I was like, give me my fucking towels back, dude. We're still in the middle of service. Like, what do you want me to grab shit out of the oven with? But that's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, definitely good to have good cooks that know what the fuck you're doing. And yeah, you're saying like if you call for a 6-pan or 9-pan, it is, and they know
it's a good sign
what to grab. That's a good sign.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a good start. If they don't, if you tell them to slice a quart of zucchini and they don't bring back cucumber, that's a good sign.
It's a good start, at least.
That's a good start, at least.
Oh man.
Should we get into them?
What are you? Idiot.
You stupid idiot.
I'm an idiot sandwich.
You're an idiot.
Of all the idiots, you stand alone.
Let's get into them.
Idiot sandwich. What's up?
I have a pretty funny one. This was years ago. I was at my buddy's apartment complex, and we were grilling. And it's shared space. I think maybe I've told you this story. Shared space. And it was a pretty sweet setup. It had a overlooked. It was like up on the mountains in Reno, and kind of like overlooked the city, and it was really pretty. And there was nice like stainless steel barbecues. And there's 2 of them, and so as a cook, I took the initiative and I cleaned the grill before I used it because nobody ever fucking does that at apartment complexes. And so I cleaned mine, and then there was another one, and that one was filthy still. And so we're cooking, and we had a whole smorgasbord of stuff. I think we had like pork chops they were grilling, and we had shrimp, and we had, I don't know, chicken wings. We had a bunch of vegetables. We were just kind of like balling out, you know. And this family comes over, and it's this black woman, and she's got like big hair, and she's like all interested in what we got going on, and she was like, "Oh, your food looks so good." She's like, "Oh, you must be a chef." And then, you know, so we were chatting with them, and so she just kept referring to me as Top Chef. So she'd be, "Oh, Top Chef, what you cooking over there, Top Chef?" so they start grilling on their side, right? And she's got like all her kids and her husband, and they're all like sitting around. There's like big like boulders around the area, so some of them are up like sitting up on the boulders, and they're all kind of standing back watching her work. And the first thing she does is she lays down foil on top of the grill because it's dirty. And I understand where she's going with that. And then she starts grilling, I mean, tons of meat on there, all on top of the foil. Well, what happens is all the fat that renders from your meat, your burgers, I think she had ribs on there, like everything. It all is typically on a grill is going to drip, you know, you get flare ups, but it'll drip into the drip tray, ideally on the bottom. And well, in her case, all the fat just sat on top of the tin foil. And next thing I know, I hear this woman, she's like, "We're finishing up dinner." And she goes, "Top Chef, help me, Top Chef."
Hey, Top Chef.
And I turn around, and there's like 6-foot flames coming out of the top of this grill. And I was like, "Holy shit." And I jump up, and all of her kids and her husband, like they're all standing back, their hands up. They didn't know what to do. And I came over, and I grab my tongs, and I'm just start like pulling everything I can, trying to save their food off the grill. And I'm like throwing it into, I don't know, a tray or something that she had. And then, you know, grabbed the kind of like balled the foil up, and I threw it onto the pavement and like stomped it out. But saved the day. But man, that shit was so funny. And and every once in a while I think about that day, and it always fucking makes me laugh. So
Awesome.
I don't really, I feel bad giving her an idiot sandwich, but yeah, I mean,
Congratulations.
yeah, idiot sandwich though, lady.
Yeah, you don't have to feel bad. I mean, nothing wrong with being an idiot sandwich.
I mean, yeah, we've been idiot sandwiches many times. So yeah, idiot sandwich to her. And yeah, don't grill on top of foil like that.
There you go. Bonus tip.
just clean the grill.
I got one from yesterday for myself.
Okay.
So now it's not that glamorous. I mean, we've just been running around doing a bunch of stuff for the pups, and I made a bunch of food for her, a bunch of rice and chicken and rice, and she wasn't eating it at all. And I like pulled it out late at night to like give her one last bowl, or try to give her one last bowl, and I just left it out. And so all that food's garbage overnight.
Oh, no.
It's probably like 3 quarts of rice and chicken. It's a big bummer. So don't do that. And congratulations to me.
Refrigerate your food.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding.
Shall we board the bus?
Yeah.
I'm going to get to school.
How do you do it? Let me hit you with some knowledge.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
It's a whipped cream salmon school for cooks that don't cook good.
Woo.
Woo.
Woo. Woo.
Do you got a tip, or you want me to go?
I got a tip real quick.
Okay.
Real quick one. Citrus, you know, limes, lemons, orange are probably the 3 most common in the States.
What about pomelos?
Pomelos? You got those?
You're a big pomelo guy?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could pomelo. Get that zest off those fruits. One, wash them. It's not very common for people to wash their citrus. They're dirty, and if you're going to cut through them, that's dirty. If you're going to zest it and you haven't washed your citrus, that's double dirty. So watch your citrus, and then it's just extra flavor that's sitting out there. So maybe double bonus tip: get yourself a microplane. Great tool to have in your kit. And you want, when you're zesting some fruit, you don't want to get to the white, right? So if it's a lime, only green. And I don't know, it's just a really good way to add flavor. It's a different flavor than the juice. It doesn't have all that acidity for like a lemon or a lime that the fruit has. So it's a good way to add flavor without adding acidity. So get your zest on, y'all.
Yeah, it's a great tip. At Lulu's, the bar would juice all the oranges. So often before we gave them the case of oranges to juice, we would take a peeler and peel all the zest, I guess, and actually dehydrate it. And then we would keep jars of the like dehydrated orange peels.
Ooh,
and
nice.
we would use the dehydrated orange peels in our duck stock.
Ooh, right. Nice.
Yeah, it's actually something that I've been wanting to do and keep at home, and I don't buy oranges very often, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
for that though, it is the whole peel. So I said the zest would just be that.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, you do just try to get as little pith as possible.
Okay.
Just like when you're like doing it for like to peel like a for like a drink or something, like a cocktail. You take your peeler and you just try to get
right. A twist. The
twist. Yes.
Get your twist on.
My tip in the year of 2025
drum roll
is to A, wash your rice.
Ooh.
And B, get yourself a goddamn rice cooker and stop cooking rice like a fucking caveman. It's the future. We live in the future. Stop.
I still use a pot.
Do you really?
To cook rice? Yeah, I don't have a rice cooker.
You don't?
No.
Well, this tip is for you, Brian Bastanza. Get yourself a goddamn rice cooker.
Yeah.
It is.
No, I know it's a good tool for sure.
It's a great tool. And if you get a nice one, the one I have, it was a gift, but the brand is Zojirushi. Zojirushi makes fantastic rice cookers, and it will hold your rice hot and beautiful for like 72 hours. And you can come back to it and open that shit up, and it's still fucking good.
Yeah.
It doesn't really get mushy until like after that.
Nice.
So, and it'll sing you songs. It sings Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, I think, when you start it, and then it sings a different song when it's ready. So,
I like the boogie.
And you know what the craziest thing about that thing is?
Tell me, Ronnie.
It has a clock on it. I don't know why your rice cooker would ever need a clock, but it has a clock on it that runs even when it's not plugged in. So when you unplug it, it's just running all the time. Just has a clock on. I don't know. I don't know where the battery is.
Has a watch glued to it. It sounds like.
Dude, I don't know how it keeps going, but I mean, straight out of the package, it had a clock on it that was running, and it's never died. So it's incredible technology. Again, we're in the future. Get yourself a rice cooker.
Say it again.
Zojirushi.
That's the second offensive accent that Ronnie's done this episode, for the record.
I'm just trying to cover all my bases. The Caucasian accent that I've been doing is the most offensive.
That's true. That one's spot on, though. It's really good.
I've been working on it for 35 years.
Well, thanks for joining us, y'all. We appreciate it. Send some good vibes for baby Emma.
Yeah.
We need them right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, share your stories. Write us in with your idiot sandwiches and your tips. And yeah, we'll see you next time. And we love you.
Love you. Stay creamy. Love your pups. Give them kisses for us.
Kisses. Mwah.
Bye.
Peace.